Now we all know people have been getting arrested for decades just because of a little herb. People have lost jobs, families, access to welfare, and a whole lot more just because of a herb-related arrest. But now something that was once banned is completely legal in many states, and lots of people want those past convictions wiped clean from their record.
Court ruling could mean thousands of people are eligible to have their arrest records wiped.
Now this is something that we've seen happening across multiple states, not just over in Hawaii. We've actually touched on this in previous episodes, but it may not be as simple as just having an automatic expungement. So if you did have a conviction of some sort in the past and the law changes, it's not as simple as just getting an automatic expungement. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that. So let's have a look at what Illinois is doing to combat that.
Rather, hundreds of thousands of convictions could be expunged under Illinois' new state law. But CBS 2's Vince Girasoli found out it's not quite that simple or fast.
How many minor violations could be cleared away almost automatically? The number is large, an estimated 700,000 statewide.
But this is important. Automatic is not when the law kicks in. It's when a case is identified and processed. And both the state and Cook County are going about that differently.
Each start with the Illinois State Police, with officers reviewing databases for eligible cases individually. To date, the tedious process totals only 116,000. In the end, state police and local law enforcement will be responsible for dedicating personnel to wiping away the records. Your automatic expungement doesn't have to be approved until January of 2021 if it dates as far back as 2013.
A low-level conviction does not mean that someone is a threat to public safety.
In August, State's Attorney Kim Foxx outlined Cook County's process, starting again with state police. But the nonprofit Code for America is using volunteers and special software to help more quickly identify cases. Following a judge's approval, local law enforcement or the state police must actually clear the record.
We've had to do it on a case-by-case basis.
And that was labor-intensive and came at a price, says Ashley Kilroy, Executive Director of Denver's Office of Marijuana Policy.
We've had to, incur additional cost.
Unlike Illinois, Colorado's 2014 legalization didn't provide automatic expungement. She warns Illinois will still need to budget for locating those with expunged records.
You need to make sure you notify the individual to let them know that this conviction has been vacated.
Now, as you guys may have gathered, that clip was from a few years back, and it was right around the time when this came out. And this is the Cannabis Expungement Information Form. And it says, and I quote, "As of the 1st of January 2020, possessing herb is legal in Illinois up to certain amounts. Part of the same law that legalized herb also created ways to clear criminal records for weed. This is called expungement. And based on this, there are a few different ways that you can have your record expunged depending on what type of record you have. Now what this does is go on to distinguish between arrests for minor offenses, so if you were arrested, convictions for minor offenses if you were actually convicted, but also possessing and dealing convictions. And based on that, depending on what type of record you have, you may be able to have your record expunged. Now just a quick reminder guys, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club or cop some merch from our merch store. But it's not just happening in places like Maryland, Hawaii and Illinois. Let's hop over to Tucson and see what's going on there.
Today, the Pima County Attorney's Office started filing the first petitions for people with convictions looking to clean up their record.
News 4 Tucson's Mark Mangura tells us what that means for Pima County residents.
If any Pima County resident has a conviction on their record, they can now file a petition to have that permanently removed free of charge directly through the Pima County Attorney's Office.
It's a move that has been in the works ever since Prop 207, which legalized passed last year. With now legal, if you were convicted on a minor charge, you can now apply to have the conviction removed. The requirements are listed on the Attorney Office's website. The Pima County Attorney's Office wants to make this a simple process for people. The form takes about a minute to fill out online.
And then we're doing all the work from there to make sure the person qualifies, to make sure the prior fits the criteria, and then we're prepping the motion and filing it.
Filing these cases officially started on Monday morning. There was just over a dozen that were signed. The Attorney's Office expects these to start ramping up as more people are made aware of the option. These prior convictions can prevent people from securing employment, housing, and other life necessities.
Drug records can be a huge burden to a lot of people. This is an important step in giving the people the opportunity to move on.
Conover says they realize that not everyone would know how or have the time to do this entire process on their own. So they put this effort together with the help of other agencies.
To make sure that we too are doing our part to lift the burden off of people and help expunge these convictions for them.
So giving people a fresh start is fantastic, especially if it's for something that's now legal in so many states. Now, you guys would have noticed from that clip that they're trying to make things a lot easier. And that was over in Illinois. But let's check out Baltimore and see what they got cooking.
Convictions are getting easier to remove from your record. The REDEEM Act takes effect on October the 1st.
WMER2 News' Jeff Morgan was at the first of many seminars sharing how people can take advantage of the new law.
With legal recreational, lawmakers thought it was important to look back at those who were punished when was criminalized. The expungement process for marijuana-related charges is getting easier.
The new laws allow for individuals, for example, serving a sentence just for cannabis. So I say that means that when marijuana is the only charge, it allows them to be resentenced.
The charge has to be something that is currently legal. So if you are caught with more than 1.5 ounces, the new legal limit, your charge is less likely to be expunged. The law also drops the cost of certain fines, like ones for smoking in public.
We reduced down the fines from the original bill that had fines at your first offense at $250. We reduced that down to $50. Subsequent offenses originally were $500, and we reduced that down to $150.
Another new law stops cops from searching cars only for the smell of. Lawmakers said this is a direct result of the higher likelihood of black people being stopped compared to white people. According to the ACLU, it's 2 times more likely a black person is arrested with a cannabis-related charge.
The criminalization of cannabis has disproportionately impacted black and brown Marylanders.
The public defender's office says to comply with officers who might be breaking the no search based off scent law and fight your battle in court. As for the expungement process, they suggest getting in touch with their office or your lawyers to get the process started now. The law goes into effect on October 1st.
Now, these are some good steps. We're seeing lawmakers take steps to expunge some of these convictions, but also to speed up the rate at which they expunge some of these convictions. And that's evident again right here in Hawaii, where the Hawaii governor signs a bill to speed up some of these expungements. Now, you gotta ask yourself, even though it sounds great that a lot of people's past convictions are being expunged, tons of states are actually taking steps to expunge past criminal convictions, especially when it comes to the good herb. What exactly does this mean for a lot of people? It really makes you wonder, how many people are still being negatively impacted? And according to this article, and I quote, as of mid-December last year, the Hawaii Criminal Justice Data Center had reviewed 640 cases and issued 81 expungements under the pilot program. And when you break it down, that's barely 13%, so things are moving super slow. But it's not just that, because you guys need to remember that this only relates to simple possession and things that are currently permitted under the law. So if you're in a state that does not currently allow home grows, but you were busted for home growing, you're likely not going to have that record expunged. Likewise, if you got busted with over 1 ounce, but your state only allows 1 ounce, you're probably not going to have that record expunged either. And obviously, if you got busted with other stuff, not just the good herb, you're probably not going to have that conviction expunged either. But let's hop into this clip by Verify to see why there's probably more to this issue than first meets the eye.
That's right, guys. In fact, when we are looking at this thing, they're trying to basically reduce the amount of, that is, decriminalize the amount of, if it's 1 ounce or less. And they're doing the same for those people who've been convicted in the past, but it's much more difficult than meets the eye.
Is simply the right thing to do.
The idea is simple enough. If you were convicted of something made legal by this initiative, that criminal conviction could go away.
And if you were arrested for it, that should not be held over your head for the rest of your life.
According to the proposal, all someone has to do is ask the court for the conviction to be expunged. But here's the thing. It only applies to people who had less than 1 ounce. And as of right now, in many cases, court records don't show how much marijuana someone actually had during their conviction.
And most times unnecessary to put the amount that they are admitting to possessing on the record.
Diego Rodriguez, lawmaker, former prosecutor, says in Arizona, anywhere from a joint to 2 pounds are classified the same way, a felony. So in the past, there's been no real reason to know if someone had 1 ounce or a pound of weed.
I think it's going to have some problems down the line.
So people with these kinds of convictions have to petition for themselves, and not having the exact records from the past crime could lead to long court battles. And how long could depend on the prosecutor.
Well, everybody gets in line, right? you file your case, you get a case number, and then you get in line.
And having a conviction on your record can carry real consequences, hurting the ability of someone to get jobs or access to welfare. And according to those like Garrick McFadden, the state should streamline the process by automatically expunging past drug convictions.
Is that states and the government take you off of all sorts of government benefits. And so this will help people get back into the safety net.
And guys, there's a lot to this 16-page, almost 10,000 word proposal. And if you want to check out more, well, you can go to our website or our brand new 12 News app.
So as you guys can see, it may sound really great, but a lot of people may not actually get the benefits, especially if the laws have not advanced to that level where you were at previously. Now that being said, I think automatic expungement would be a fantastic idea. I can see some complications with it, but I don't think that those are hurdles that cannot be overcome. So let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it in the comments down below. I'm really interested to find out where you guys stand on expungements. Should they be automatic or should you have to apply for it? And speaking of apply, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a new model that states are looking to apply, and that will give states full control of the good herb, and it's definitely something we need to look out for. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out because it's coming up right now.